Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Rocket Media. Today I'm in Bangalore with Anup Shrikant Swami. He is co-founder and CEO of Moonrider. They are building electric tractors that promise diesel-like performance at substantially lower operational cost and eventually intelligent and autonomous operations. Talking about the industry, India roughly sells around million tractors every year, and almost all of them run on diesel. Now, Moonrider is trying to rebuild and rethink these machines from scratch. Today, we'll try to understand engineering behind these tractors and what it really takes to build for farmers and what is the future of agriculture mechanization will look like. Let's hear it from the man himself. Hi, Anup.
Hi, Ankit. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So, how are you? Are you ready for my questions?
Absolutely.
So before going into the journey of Moonrider and engineering, I want to understand about your journey. Like when did your fascination with machines, automobiles, and engineering actually begin? I think you previously worked in many deep tech companies like this.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a mechanical engineer by education. Started my career with Toyota in India. I also worked in Japan for Toyota Motor Corporation. So always fascinated with automobiles. So somehow I had the opportunity to start my career in world's largest automotive company. Post that, I got an opportunity to work with Volvo Group. Spent about 9 years with Volvo. Before I left them, I was sort of leading their electric vehicle programs globally. Was based out of Gothenburg in Sweden as well. And then briefly, I had an opportunity to work for Ola Electric and was heading their product development. So always fascinated about automobiles and the engineering behind that. So I'm a petrol head myself, but now turning into a EV guy.
Right. So how did you kept your engineer alive like throughout these years?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Usually, what happens is when you're growing in the organization, you tend to lose, about building, and you are largely about managing programs, people, and stuff. But I always had the opportunity to be on the R&D side of things. Worked on some of the world's cutting edge technologies. So that kept the engineer in me alive. So
Right. And you already worked on different kind of categories. Why did you eventually choose tractors? Like probably one of the most difficult and rugged machines to build.
yeah,
So how did you landed on tractors?
like it was an unexpected discovery, Ankit. So we got this idea from one of the progressive farmers, Adarsh Kisan bolte hain. So we were having coffee, and then he said to us, like, farm electricity is heavily subsidized in India. My irrigation pumps are always powered by three-phase electricity. So if you can build an electric tractor that could change the dynamics of the farm mechanization and so on. So that was a eureka moment for us. Until then, we had built like trucks, like you said, different form factors, and I'm building EVs for the last 8 years. So we hadn't thought about tractors at all. So since it came from the progressive farmer, it was a eureka moment. And then when we did the dipstick around different part of the country, we felt like this could change the lives of the farmers, and you can create disproportionate impact. So that's why we jumped onto it, building electric tractors.
We'll go deep into this, but prior to that, just a curious question: like how farmers and investors, used to look at you guys.
Yeah.
Did they immediately conceive the idea of like building tractors?
No, I think that's a great question. So I think farmers, I always say this, like agriculture is local, but the farmers' problems and farmers' knowledge are global, right? So if you go to anywhere in the world, it's the same set of challenges that the farmers are going through. It's the labor shortage, raising fuel costs, that's eating away their operating margin. You will be surprised, in India, farmers are so informed that they have YouTube channels, and there are farm influencers who are actually, influencing the farmers around modern agriculture and so on and so forth. So initially when we were at the very beginning of Moonrider, so we spoke to about 1,000 plus farmers in India, East Africa, Southeast Asia, and so on. You know, everyone understands the economics behind electric tractor, right? So farmers were like, ये तो ठीक है, but what about the performance? What about, मतलब उसमें ताकत है क्या, right? So that's the
Exactly.
biggest apprehension they had. But they all understand that, you know, uh, electric tractors eventually works out way you know, efficiently, both from performance as well as economic standpoint. We never find any apprehensions in terms of that aspects. But obviously, we got a lot of input from the farmers along the way, and the only focus was about upfront cost. मतलब, it should not be in a way like, you know, just because electric tractors, I should not pay 2x or 3x the diesel tractors. So I should be able, the electric tractor should be priced as close as it is possible towards the diesel tractors, and at the same time I should not be compromised on uptime or compromise on performance. So that was largely the input that we got, and we designed the tractors accordingly.
Actually, I can relate to these problems. I come from a farmer's family in Rajasthan, so we also do farming and lot of stuffs.
Right.
So we do that in Rajasthan, and the labor shortage or wait, the operational cost,
Yeah.
and the kind of challenges that we see in day-to-day life in farms.
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at the farmers, I think they don't care a lot about tech. They care about economics.
Exactly.
Okay, how actually, like, you know, it is going to cost and what kind of economics it is going to be there.
Absolutely.
So I can relate to it. But talking about your early years, initially what the prototype used to look like, was it a tractor or just a experimental drivetrain or an engineering model?
Yeah, that's funny. When we did the first sketch, we were asking about why should a tractor should look like a tractor, right? And then we went in, because today tractors look uh, predominantly like this because you have an engine in the front, and you know, so it's been there for 60, 70 years.
So you thought from the basics, okay, ki why the shape should be like this?
Exactly. And why can't it be like a dirt bike, right? So that was the first sketch. And then we took it to the farmers, and one of the farmers, I think in Andhra Pradesh, he said कि मेरे को तो ठीक है, but what about if a women farmer has to drive this? And large part of the women in India wear saris, so you can't change the whole design to you know, like this. So lots of feedback that we got, and the first prototype that if you had seen, like, you know, it's just a skeleton chassis that we had built, and we started testing it whether it will work or not. Once we got comfort around, yes, you know, there's no compromise on the performance or anything like that, that's when we went, you know, all out building this.
And where does this name come from? Like when you heard the name Moonrider, I thought ki probably they are building rovers for moon.
Maybe, you never know.
Oh, so this
In
could
future. No. So anyway, we are like Earth movers. So maybe Mars rovers, why not? No. So I think we were all proud of the day Chandrayaan and Chandrayaan 2, 3 happened. So this was the time. So I have this habit of coming up with some crazy names, and then I look for domains. I have like 50, 60 domains that I still own. So whatever I feel like something really catchy and things like that, I buy the domains. So Moonrider happened on the day of Chandrayaan. You know, it was a goosebumps moment, and then suddenly it hit me like, you know, why can't it be like Moonrider? And then that day we named it as Moonrider.
wow, crazy story. So before going into your products and engineering, I want to understand the problem more. As you were mentioning कि farmers की क्या problems होती है, तो what is, like, you know, fundamentally broken about this economics of owning and operating a diesel tractor?
Yeah.
So अगर वहाँ से शुरू करें.
So Ankit, since you are from a farming family, right? So you will understand कि ज़्यादातर इंडिया में I would say 65% of the tractors are on rent. So क्या होता है, like most of us buy tractors for our own use, and to increase the utilization we deploy it on rent within our community, right? So if you look at Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana is largely ownership of the tractors, but if you look at remotest parts of Rajasthan also has a lot of custom hiring centers where CHCs, what we call, where farmers actually hire the tractor.
Actually, many people own very small portions of land.
Exactly. So 2 to 5 acres of land. Oh, tractor खरीदने में, like, it doesn't make sense for them, right? So they rent it whenever it is required. Now, why we got this insight while speaking to farmers? Two things broadly stood out. One was like, यार मुझे I don't want to pay 2x 3x of upfront cost for just for an electric tractor in the quest of recovering it over 5-6 year period of time, right? मुझे upfront cost almost equivalent to the diesel tractor चाहिए. So that is the first thing. Second thing that was like, there are two things, right? Puddling and non-puddling. Puddling मतलब आपका paddy cultivation and all of that. There is a time criticality associated with it. Like 15 दिन में आपको पूरा लैंड प्रिपेयर करना होगा, रोटावेशन करना होगा, कल्टिवेशन करना होगा. So it's a very peak time. During the peak time, farmers tend to drive the tractors for 12 hours, 13 hours continuously.
Even in night too.
Even in night too. Now, if you look at it from an electric tractor sense, it's at the moment impossible to sort of give that range where it can run for 12 hours, 13 hours. So what we observed during our dipstick was that if you look at Rajasthan itself, typically farmer starts at 6:30 in the morning, go about 11 ish, and then 10:30, 11 they start taking the break, let's say until 2:30, 3 o'clock, and once the sun goes down they will start again. So there is about 3.5-4 hours of window period for you to charge the tractors. So that was a critical insight we got. So what we did is we came back, we asked ourselves two questions. How can we make tractors more affordable? So the answer was vertical integration, which means that we have to build our own battery packs. We have a patent on the battery pack. You saw the battery facility as well. So battery, in the sense, the entire tech, BMS, everything we build ourselves. Then in order to get the desired performance and optimize for this range, we had to design our own powertrain, the motors, MCUs and all of that, power electronics. All of this led to solving for, let's say, price parity. So today we are just 20% more than a diesel tractor. And with volumes going up, we can bring down the prices further down, right? So अगर 27 HP का ट्रैक्टर आपको महिंद्रा का 6.5 लाख में मिल रहा है, our tractor is 8 lakhs at the moment, right? So what you do is you get the upfront cost benefit, at the same time the running cost benefit. Now the running cost benefit per se is like per acre. If you take, let's say, a 50 horsepower tractor, 50 horsepower tractor में आपको 6 to 7 liters of diesel चाहिए to farm, to do the land preparation of 1 acre. In our case, in our tractors, all you need is a 9 to 10 units of electricity. So it is 500-600 rupees per acre to 80 to 100 rupees per acre. That's the kind of saving. आपका payback period almost 15 months में हो जाएगा, right? So that we solved. And then last piece was that the charging bit. So in order to ensure that there is no downtime for the farmers, हम लोगों ने 3 तरीके का चार्जिंग डिज़ाइन किया है. एक तो नॉर्मल होम चार्जर्स है, लाइक यू कैन कनेक्ट इट टू योर होम ओवर द कोर्स, यू कैन चार्ज ओवरनाइट. सेकेंड इज वी हैव अ पोर्टेबल चार्जर्स विच वी गिव. आप फार्म में लेके, लाइक इफ़ यू हैव अ 3-phase इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, यू कैन चार्ज द ट्रैक्टर्स इन 2-2.5 hours. हायर हॉर्स पावर ट्रैक्टर्स को आप नियर बाई पेट्रोल पम्प या चार्ज ऑन स्टेशंस में लेके 30 to 40 मिनट्स में पूरा बैटरी चार्ज कर सकता है विद अ DC फास्ट चार्जर. सो ऑल 3 ऑप्शंस आर अवेलेबल फॉर अस, एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस वी वर एबल टू डिज़ाइन बिकॉज वी गॉट दोज इनसाइट्स फ्रॉम द फार्मर्स. and we took a vertical integration approach.
Right. So I have a lot of questions. To begin with, I think firstly कि आपने जैसे बताया कि talking about upfront cost, you brought that down, and in a long term, eventually farmers are going to recover. So how exactly did you manage to do that?
Yeah.
Like electric tractors की बात करें तो even if you look at the cars,
Yeah.
we know कि upfront cost ज़्यादा ही होती है.
Correct.
So how exactly you are financing this?
So let's say if you look at the cost structure of a vehicle, right? Let's take a tractor. An electric tractor, 50% of the cost is the batteries, right? Majority of the people buy these batteries from China or suppliers, etc.
Right.
What we did is we went a step further. We asked ourselves, why is the battery costing so much? Right. The answer turns out two things. One is the cells itself. अभी lithium ion cells तो dependency है ही है. You can't do anything. We have to buy it from either China or Korea.
Right.
The other piece is the thermal management. Thermal management, because you want to fast charge the vehicle, you have to have sophisticated thermal management, and it costs as much as the cells in itself, right? So हमने क्या किया? So we got rid of the liquid cooling thermal systems that are widely available in the market, and we filed a patent. We went with an approach what we call refrigerated packs. So basically, it's like a immersion cooling, but an active immersion cooling type. Now this brought the the prices of the battery at a pack level from, let's say, 14,000 rupees per kilowatt hour to 7,000 rupees per kilowatt hour. So that brought the cost by 50%, right? So when the cost of the battery has gone down, the cost of the vehicle also have gone down.
So you built a fully own cooling system.
Yes.
That is some serious R&D going on.
You also saw the power electronics lab with us. Like we build our own VCUs, BMS, hardware, software, everything. So we want to have a full stack approach to this. The reason being, there's a lot of dependency on China and so on, right? If a vehicle breaks down, farmers can't wait until the Chinese guy gives a solution,
Right.
and the Indians trying to solve that. It takes a lot of time, so we need to own the entire piece, and that's the
Yeah, even looking at all the recent crises, if you look at the spike in fuel prices and dependence on other countries for batteries and all, I think it is the necessity of the art
Absolutely.
that we should do it.
Absolutely.
So even if we look at the whole market, if you have any idea about the macro numbers, how much the kind of diesel we import or oil we import from outside, if we just look at the tractor industry, how much oil we import.
Yeah. So Ankit, you will be surprised. $185 billion worth of oil gets imported every year for India, right? That's also hurting the currency rates and so on. $10 billion worth of fuel oil goes to farm tractors. $10 billion. That's almost like 1 lakh crore, right? So that is the dependency that we want to get rid of, right? And I think it turns out electric is the best way to get there.
Right. Now, great. Yeah, if we get that number, that will help us to get net emission zero.
Exactly.
And lot of great things could come out of this.
Exactly.
Nice. And going deep into the technicalities, I want to ask some basic questions how electrification of tractors is different from that of cars or bikes. A very nuanced question.
No, sure. I think, fundamentally, if you look at, there are 2-3 things, right? First things first, cars and two-wheelers are built for speed. Essentially, आपको throttle response बोलते हैं ना, like the moment you need that thrill, you are seeking for a mojo and all of that. That's designed for speed.
Right.
Whereas tractor, construction equipment, trucks, these are high torque applications.
Yeah, and low speed, high torque.
And low speed, high torque. Fundamentally, how you build high speed applications and high torque applications is completely different. Then that's a fundamental difference. The second thing is, in tractors, it's not just about tractors. Tractors have to pull that heavy implements, rotavators, cultivators, balers, harvesters. So the performance of the tractor is not just the performance of the tractor, but with the implements. So you have to design it in such a way that it is performing at its peak levels. At the same time, you cannot compromise on the range of the vehicle, right? So that's a fundamentally different animal. And the third most important piece is the product reliability. Tractors, the components at the subsystem level has to survive 7 to 10 years of abuse, right? So it has to survive in all off-roading conditions that you can imagine, wetland applications, dust, right? So power electronics, matlab, the moment dust sits on the power electronics, your tractor might stop, right? It has to survive all this. And cars and two-wheelers are fairly easy when you compare it with the tractors and all these high torque applications.
And you are building all this from scratch. So what exactly it looks like to build tractors from scratch, and how exactly it is mechanically different from a diesel tractor?
I think it's one of the hardest vehicles to crack. That's why you have very limited players who are making electric tractors as well, right? Because it takes a lot of effort from a vehicle integration standpoint, from vehicle durability, reliability standpoint, right? So every watt matters, and every component has to survive for 7 years. So that is that is how complex it is. As far as the
mechanical thing.
So as far as the mechanical thing goes, like, so one of the feedback that we got from the farmers is that electric tractors in itself is a behavioral change. Do not change as much as form factor in itself, right? So all of them wanted gears, all of them wanted all the at least limited mechanical levers where
that was I was going to ask, does it need a clutch, a gearbox,
it needs a clutch,
or a PTO?
So PTO, it has to be there. So I mean mota around 65% remains the same. Whether you drive a diesel tractor or an electric tractor, that won't. But the experience of driving a electric tractor is completely different from a diesel tractor. So it's like there's no noise, there's no vibration, there's no harshness. If you sit on
that voice is very irritating, man.
If you sit on a tractor, it just vibrates, right? Like diesel tractors.
Right.
So wo to nahi hai. So all of that actually increases the productivity, right? So
okay, and how much of it is indigenously built, like talking about the components or percentage?
At a level 1, we are almost 85 to 87%. Made in India.
And talking about EV company like yours, so how much we are dependent on China, be it on battery cells, magnet? You mentioned you are building from scratch, but talking about power electronics and other stuffs.
So I think there are 3 pieces to get the EVs right. One is the battery, the other one is the motor and motor controller, and the third piece is the power electronics in general, right? VCU, BMS, everything. I think where we wanted to take control over, which is the power electronics. So we do it completely in-house. We don't depend on China on the...
So what was the need of building this from scratch? You could have imported maybe.
Right. So I'll give you 2 broad aspects, right? The one is making a product. Anybody can make it, right? When the tractor is in the farmland, issues to aa jayega, right? So there could be some heating issue, there could be some other issue, right? How do you resolve that? Now, if you are importing everything from China, right, it is not designed for Indian conditions. It is not designed for these temperature conditions. Anything can go wrong, and the farmers will suffer. Now, if you have the control over VCU, BMS, and all of these things, you can give solutions real time, right? Even you can, worst case scenario, you can go and replace those components. Imagine if you have to import all of that from China and it takes 2 weeks to get there. Farmers can't afford to have that downtime, right? So they will compare it with the diesel tractors. So in order to get that serviceability piece right, we need to own these stuff. Now on the cells, you can't do at the moment much because we as a company, we are focusing on getting the one thing right, which is the electric tractor, and not a lot of investments and R&D happening around the cell technology at the moment. So that is something that we are buying from China. That is the only dependency right now. Majority of the others we have eliminated it.
So is it reliable for Indian peak summers and conditions like, as you're mentioning, dust, mud, water, vibration,
Yeah.
extreme heat? So is it reliable?
Absolutely. So as we speak, we are testing uh, our tractors in multiple geographies also, including your hometown. That's why I
Oh,
asked you.
okay.
Yeah. So there is one tractor in Jaipur airport. There is one tractor in Jaipur where we are testing in different soil conditions. As we commercialize, we are continuing to test. So dust was the biggest issue initially, which we solved like 2 years back itself. So we don't find any issues. Our battery packs are what we call immersion cooled packs, right? So the idea of immersion cooled packs is the ambient temperature in Rajasthan could go as high as 48 degrees, right?
48, 50 sometimes.
50 sometimes. Now, when you are charging vehicles during that heat and temperature conditions, the objective of the immersion cooling is to keep the battery temperature under 35 degrees always, right? So that is where our immersion cooling tech actually helps.
Right.
And it will manage your heat and temperature aspects. B, even you can fast charge it during that peak summers and so on. So it survives. Our tractors have survived in multiple geographies, Nairobi, CBG plants. It is having those loaders that you saw with 1000 kg material handling continuously in Kakinada, which is also 40 plus degrees. So we are super confident.
And realistically, like, कितने घंटे तक operate कर सकती है batteries?
Yeah.
And how charging at farm look like?
Yeah, yeah. So I think worst case scenario is the rotavators, right? तीनों ट्रैक्टर में like if you see 27 HP, 50 HP and 75 horsepower, all of them have somewhere between 4.5 to 5 hours of rotavator range.
Okay.
Cultivation around 5.5 to 6 hours of range. One charge you can do this. For CBG, material handling operation within the plant, one charge our tractors are running for 16 hours. That is the material handling part of it. This is on the range. On the charging piece, like I said, like we are giving as an accessory the 25 kilowatt DC fast chargers as well. So which is like portable, right? So you can actually put it on the back of the tractor and drive it to the farm. आपके पास अगर irrigation pump है, you will have the 3-phase electricity. So you can connect it to the charger and charge the tractors in 2.5 hours.
So can it charge through a normal rural electricity connection?
Yes, no change, nothing. Everything BMS will take care of.
And talking about like कि जैसे for example charge खत्म हो जाता है, so when you need to charge it, or there is a system of replacing or that kind of thing.
So अभी क्या है, like swapping solutions is not possible because इसमें like 50 horsepower tractor में आपको almost 500 kg weight is battery, right?
500?
500 kgs.
Okay.
Battery weight is 500 kg. So it is impossible to sort of make a swapping, right? So the only way is to fast charge. So we are investing a lot on how to fast charge and so on. But the vehicles are also built intelligently, so it gives alerts. अगर मतलब farmers को when they are driving, it alerts them कि drain हो रहा है. And then you need to get to the nearest charging point and so on. So these are proactive ways to get them out in case if they have to charge. So that way the tractors are intelligent.
And talking about the reliability, like life cycle of the battery.
Yeah.
So if you can talk about that too.
No, I think मोटा see India में क्या like ज़्यादातर 120 days is the usage for tractors, right? So 1,000 hours of operations is at best for the farming applications. So with that level, the batteries can last for 10 years, right? We give 5 to 7 years of warranty on the battery itself, depending upon the form factors and so on. And these are immersion cooled packs, so it doesn't degrade as quickly as others would do. So that way, I think anyway, 5 to 7 years may usually 70 to 80% of the tractors gets replaced. There are edge cases, of course, 10 15 years भी चलता है, but ज़्यादातर 7 years के अंदर people will change the tractors. So that
And
तो
after all these things, in in some areas, can it outperform diesel tractors?
Oh, yeah.
Or in some areas it can't.
I mean, we did a what do you call customer trials back in the days with ICCT
Right.
in Haryana, and one of the ministers in Haryana actually took a personal test drive of the tractor, and he ran it for like 20 30 minutes, and he's a farmer himself, and he was like, he called us and we went there, and he said, Anu, I've tried diesel tractors, I've tried other electric tractors. One best thing about your Moonrider electric tractors, especially 50 horsepower, is that it's it performs better than the diesel tractors when you attach the rotavators. Right? I think that's a big compliment. And then we are testing our tractors for almost a year in Nairobi. Right? वहाँ पे क्या है, like 75 horsepower का ट्रैक्टर में आप 100 horsepower tractor का भी implement लगा के चलाता है, right? So there is this woman farmer called Felix. She's so happy about the tractor and its performance that East Africa में we are getting a lot of inbound interest on our electric tractors. So that says something about the performance.
Yeah, I think farmers are going to buy
Yes.
if ताकत है.
Yeah, ताकत को दिखाना पड़ेगा, like a tractor dangle or something like that.
Right. So what is technically hardest in building these machines? Delivering peak power, sustained torque, traction, thermal stability. सबसे मुश्किल क्या था इसको बनाने में?
So I think delivering the required amount of torque consistently, at the same time, so it's all about the fine balance, right? The torque delivery have to be seamless. At the same time, it should not draw more current. If it draws more current, your battery range becomes lesser, right? So finding that sweet spot, that's the most important thing. ज़्यादातर लोग क्या करता है, like off the shelf मोटर से वहाँ जाके उठा लो, then assemble it and try and do it. That will not work because all of that are designed for high speed applications. Those motors can go up to 9,000 RPM, right? You can actually fly a helicopter with that. So that is not designed for tractors, right? So you have to purpose build powertrain, in the sense, even with worst case, I'm talking about rotovation, all you need is a 2200 RPM, right? That is when it generates the peak torque. So all of this, getting it right and integrating it seamlessly, that was the hardest part.
Right. And as you're talking about traditional tractors जिसमें इतनी mechanics होती है, right? So with these electric machines, how hard or easy they are to repair, or कि what intentionally you have changed or what intentionally you have kept same.
Yeah.
As you said, 65% of the mechanics is same.
Correct.
So is it easy to repair or?
Exactly. Almost 70% of the things are common, like the same similar brakes, similar axles, and so on and so forth, right? All the mechanical components, we don't want to change it because, see, in the remotest parts, you might not be able to go in time to address the issue, but the farmer can now actually call someone, a local mechanic who could actually design, change the components, right? So that way we have designed. The remaining 30%, majority of the issues can be solved through over-the-air updates and so on and so forth. Right? Remote monitoring तो हम करते ही है, and we know before the farmer knows कि ये this issue might occur. So we actually proactively take, because all of this is software-defined vehicles. Then comes the last piece, which is 10 to 15%, where चलो ठीक है, कुछ वायरिंग हार्नेस का कनेक्टर का इशू आ गया या बैटरी में कुछ ये हो गया, those are something that needs to be replaced, and those are edge cases, right? There we have technicians all over wherever we are selling, and within no time we should be able to replace those components. that's the way we are doing.
तो आपने पूरे इस्टेब्लिश किए हैं ऑल ओवर इंडिया कि
Yeah.
कंपोनेंट्स मिल सकते हैं इजीली और पीपल दीज आर वेरी एक्सेसिबल सेंटर्स टू द फार्मर्स एंड पीपल.
Exactly. So that is one of the reasons why कि हम we're not going pan India completely. So we're taking markets after markets. So अभी कर्नाटका में हम कर रहा है, नायरोबी में कर रहा है. So we will soon get into Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and so on. And now our focus is also largely B2B. We don't directly sell it to the farmers at the moment because dealership हम नहीं खोल रहा है. We are selling it to rental fleet owners. We have a partner in Rajasthan called EM3, EM3 Agri Services. These guys buys the tractor, they rent it. So those are the things we are doing for the next 24 months, and beyond that point, we'll sell it to the customer.
एंड अनूप जब आप इंटेलिजेंस ऑटोनॉमी और सॉफ्टवेयर की बात करते हो तो व्हाट डज इट एक्चुअली मीन इन ट्रैक्टर्स?
Hey, autonomous tractors are a big topic. I think, see, fundamentally, जो आप autonomous tractors में problem solve करने जा रहा है, it's very different. In developed world, let's say in Europe or US markets, वहाँ पे आपको ट्रैक्टर ड्राइवर का सैलरी होता है like $70,000, $90,000, right? It's very expensive affair to and मिलता भी नहीं. So that is the problem, developed worlds address. In India, आपको let's say in Ajmer and Rajasthan,
1,000 per day,
exactly
1,500 per day max.
Correct. So you will get. Now यहाँ पे वो problem नहीं है, but during the peak season, all of them wants the drivers at the same time, so they won't get it.
That is the problem.
That is the problem. Now, if you have to solve for that, the autonomous piece have to be, so cost effective that you are competing against the Indian driver. So, यहाँ पे driver हटाने का is not a problem. Driver is not a problem. So, when it comes to, so it's a different problem you are solving, which is labor shortage and bringing more productivity and so on. So, keeping that in mind, what we have done is we also have one of the tractors that are running. You saw the prototype sharing. We are working on the autonomous tech, but it's a long shot. First step is the driverless tractor, but that is fairly easy because tractors are operating on a confined location and so on. But what is more important is to achieve the full automation, right? So आप ड्राइवर को तो हटा दिया. What about 2-3 people who will have to attach a rotavator or a cultivator? So until you get there, where a tractor can manage everything by itself, so it's not a fully autonomous tractor, right? So our objective is to get to that. For that, you have to redesign the entire tractor, and that was one of the prototypes that you saw. So we are rethinking, can we even build some of the implements inside those tractors itself, right? So it completely, it looks different, the purpose of that is different. So, but that's like 7 years from now on.
For a moment, I thought you were talking about going global.
We are actually, from day one in a way, we are global. Because initially we started off with East Africa as a market. अभी हम क्या कर रहा है, like we are focusing on CBG markets, compressed biogas markets. So India में हम already we are dispatching those tractors, the orange tractors that you saw. So is like one tractor we already shipped it to US. We are starting trials in US. Europe भी हम explore कर रहा है. So in the next 24 months you will see us completely global.
एंड अनूप मैं मेरा एक और डाउट था जो आप बता रहे थे कि 2-3 लोग चाहिए ट्रैक्टर को ऑपरेट करने के लिए. सो टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस इलेक्ट्रिक ट्रैक्टर्स एंड जो इक्विपमेंट्स हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं बीट फॉर प्लफिंग और सीडिंग, तो डू वी नीड टू रिबिल्ड दैट टू फॉर इलेक्ट्रिक ट्रैक्टर्स?
That's a good question. One of the feedback that we got initially was, आप जो करना है करो इलेक्ट्रिक ट्रैक्टर में, मैं इम्प्लीमेंट का कुछ चेंज नहीं करूँगा, राइट? सो ऑल आर ट्रैक्टर, आई मीन the tractors are interoperable. मतलब आप जो डीजल ट्रैक्टर में जो भी implement यूज़ कर रहा है, the same implements can be used in are tractors. There is no change required.
ओके एंड ये सॉफ्टवेयर एंड जो ऑटोनॉमी की हम बात कर रहे थे सो इट जनरली इम्प्रूव्स द व्हीकल एंड एफिशिएंसी
It does.
लाइक
It does. It does. क्योंकि see, I'll give you a simple example.
हाँ
आप land preparation कर रहा है and let's say with plow and everything. So usually what happens is at some corners, farmers have to get down, see, for example, whether can I turn or not, because it's not completely visible in the tractors, right? They usually get down. If you see, they go around the tractors, they see, and then navigate around it. If you just solve for that cornering with an autonomous approach, that's a 7 to 8% increase in productivity, overall. So those kind of छोटा मोटा जो performance improvements है, that itself increases the productivity of the farm in itself.
बट लाइक कि जब मैंने प्रैक्टिकल जो फार्म फील्ड देखे हैं लाइक कि द काइंड ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स एंड कॉर्नर्स और द बाउंड्रीज दैट वी हैव सो वहाँ पे लाइक कि मैन समटाइम्स पुश दैट लिमिट्स ऑफ द मशीन and can you expect same type of task to be done by machine too?
Yeah, so I think you were way more polished and polite when you said that, pushing the machines. I would say we abuse the machines, right? So yeah, I mean, sometimes it is not designed for that. But nevertheless, with autonomy and automation, we might not have to push to its limits as well, right? So machine by itself is intelligent enough to navigate those challenges. So उसमें उतना what do you call tractor need not have to do all this wheeling and all of things. Like, I mean, an autonomous tractor, the idea of having an autonomous tractor is to increase the productivity, and that it will take care of. But all the adventures that these guys do, that is something questionable. So
Right. And talking about Moonrider's core products, what kind of core products that you have? You have mentioned 50 horsepower ka hai,
Yeah.
27 ka hai, and I think 75 ka bhi hai.
Yeah.
So these are the three core products that you have.
yeah, exactly. So we are focused only on tractors. Our hero products are 50 and 75 horsepower tractors, heavy duty tractors that we focus on. We happen to make a 27 horsepower tractor. So today we have 27, 50 and 75 horsepower tractor. All of them are certified, homologated, testings are done. We have already started selling the tractors. So.
Okay. And who is your ideal customer? Are you just selling to farmers
Yeah.
or any kind of contractors or
Correct. So 70% of our focus is going towards CBG plants right now, compressed biogas plants. Compressed biogas plants has three use cases. One is the in-plant material handling with the low die catcher grabber, and then there is a haulage between the land to the plant. And third one is the agricultural use cases, which is like baler, thrasher, and all of that. We are focused on all three of this. So there are many CBG players in the country. We have partnered with them. We are shipping tractors to them. That is the primary focus. We started off with the agri use cases only. Now because the industrial and the CBG use cases are looking more lucrative, we are focusing on that. But as far as the agri use cases are concerned, we are selling it to farmer producer organizations, FPOs, right? So these guys buy our tractors and they rent it within their farmer collective.
Right. I think CBG is also rising very exponentially.
Yes.
So I think वहाँ पे काफी opportunity है.
Yes.
And like you are not selling directly to farmers, like you don't have any plans of any.
Yeah. We have, the thing is like, we are a startup, we have to optimize for capital. Selling directly to the farmers is a different problem. We have to solve for financing piece. At the moment, all our capital is going towards product, making the products better. So we will get to a stage where we can invest on distribution and financing, but right now all emphasis is on product, technology and so on. So for us, B2B is the best. So while we build technology and products, we can actually start churning some numbers with the B2B, like the CBG and the FPO opportunities. and it will generate a lot of cash, and over a period of time we could directly sell it to the farmers. So that's the
And like Anup, like how we are exactly fighting this, like trust deficit. Like कि traditionally India में जो diesel tractors बिके हैं, if you go to my family and you probably pitch them, like maybe they don't like this idea, they trust farm track more.
I know, right? I think brand association with tractors are like generational.
Even with the color, like कि
Even with the color.
जब तक red color नहीं दिखता था पहले ट्रैक्टर का फीलिंग नहीं आता था, then अभी it shifted to blue.
I know. अगर आप पंजाब जाओगे तो you will see Mercedes Benz and John Deere only. Everybody wants to have John Deere tractors. So that's one of the reasons why we are not going B2C at the moment, because you'll have to spend a lot on creating that awareness that Moonrider also performs as equally as, let's say, Farm Track or Punjab. So we are addressing those markets where economics outweighs the brand association. So we are focusing those opportunities first. And then once there are sizable tractors in the market, like those are 3,000 tractors agar bik raha hai, and then when people see it is performing, then they will think, okay, why should I have to have this diesel gas guzzlers? I should actually buy an electric tractor, right? So
अभी कैसा चल रहा है, like talking about the production and the plans for next 4-5 years.
Right. So, so I think this year we are aiming for about 400 units, which we are comfortable we will do. Next financial year we are targeting about 3,000 units, and after that it will be an exponential growth.
And how exactly, like कि do you see Moonrider? Like कि you told me about tractor, you are a tractor company, but you have done some serious R&D in batteries and like in intelligence or agriculture machinery. So is it going to be a tractor company? How exactly you see all this equation?
Yeah, I think we are a technology company. Our DNA is vehicle development. Me, Ravi, my co-founder, and the entire team, you can see, we have been building vehicles over 15-20 years now. So our expertise is building vehicles. So we will go deeper in that. We first built a tractor, electric tractor. Then we said, what are all the core capabilities that we have to build? So we've built a battery tech. We are focusing on e-axles. We are focusing on power electronics. That's the first phase. And probably we'll go further deeper on research into high density, high energy density solutions. So that's the way in which we want to go. And over the course of next 5 years, you will see one of those companies that are built out of India for the globe, which all of us are proud of. That yes, this also can be done from India, right? So
right. Definitely, man. I wish you all the very best. Okay, and on the ending note, like any message for the young engineers out there or farmers too, who are going to watch this episode.
Right. I think पहले farmers के लिए, like we have taken a lot of pain and faced a lot of challenge to build this, and we have completely understood what the farmers would need. Even today, we get farmers and FPOs every month to test drive our products, give feedback. So they come here in the facility, we do all this. So electric is the way to go. Trust the electric tractor and start buying those tractors. It will change the economics and it will change the lives of the farmers. So that is for the farmers. For the engineers, for the young engineers, I think it's the best time to be an engineer in India, right? So there is so much happening. There is so much capital available. There is so much of mentorship available. So don't look for settling down. Instead, build something out of India that will outlast you.
Yeah, and like it's really great to see that you are building for farmers who are core part of the economy and whole country. So genuinely proud of you, man.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So much things to learn from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.